So the Jacksonville Jaguars go bold, sort of like the color of the jacket Travis Hunter is dancing his way out of the green room in.
An incredible last memory of taking the field with his sons, Shador and Shiloh, here at Folsom Field at home.
Talk about my girl. Go talk about your girl. Go find a girl. Go find a life. Stop worrying about what I got going on. I know what I got. I know my girl. My girl been with me for 5 years. Y'all are just not starting to talk about me and just not starting to be with me. Like, come on, man. Y'all go do something else with y'all life.
Could Travis Hunter really be on the verge of announcing a transfer? Because if the whispers making the rounds right now have even a grain of truth, this isn't just about football. According to the streets, it has nothing to do with playbook, contracts, or the scoreboard, and everything to do with his wife, Lyanna. Fans are convinced that one of his own Jaguars teammates crossed a line with her. And when I say crossed a line, you already know exactly what I mean. But here's the part that's turning heads: the timing. This isn't an off-season trade or an end-of-year reshuffle. This is mid-season, sudden, and completely out of left field. And the internet believes the reason isn't strategic. It's personal, messy, and downright humiliating if it's true. We're talking resurfaced old clips, shady locker room whispers, and a marriage that's already shown cracks in public. If even half of what's being said is real, then Travis leaving the Jaguars might actually be the least dramatic part of the entire story. Now, look, transfers happen all the time in the NFL. Players chase bigger contracts, better opportunities, or simply go where the money flows. But this feels different. We're talking about a player hyped as one of the Jags' future stars, suddenly packing up in the middle of the season, not at year's end, not during the usual trade window. Right now, and whenever something like this happens, one question always explodes: what really went down? If this were about football, we'd expect the standard safe lines: it's business. I'm ready for a new challenge, just focusing on my career. But the silence from Travis, that's what's making people suspicious. Especially when you compare it to how loud and excited he was the day the Jaguars drafted him.
I did do some Zillow researching for a house last night, so I had a feeling.
I'm sure you have talked to everybody about playing both ways, offense and defense. What are we thinking? Is there, you're leaning towards one more than the other, or do you really want to go 100% both ways?
Nah, I'm not leaning to one or the other. You know, I'm going 100%. As much as they put on my plate, I'm going to do the best that I can to, take it all in and, do my job.
Awesome. Congratulations,
love it.
Travis. Enjoy the ride, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that's exactly why the internet's been digging nonstop. Reddit threads, Twitter spaces, TikTok breakdowns, all working overtime to piece this puzzle together. And no matter where you look, the same theory keeps bubbling up. This isn't about touchdowns or stats. It's about his personal life. Specifically, a rumor that one of his own Jaguars teammates may have stepped way over the line with Lyanna. If that's true, we're not just talking about a bad look, we're talking about something career-altering that started with cryptic comments like, check the roster, or look who she's been talking to. But before long, fans on Reddit and TikTok began naming names. The version making the rounds suggests this was one of those situations where no words are needed. A single look says it all. So far, no one's confirmed a thing. The team's staying silent. Travis hasn't said a word, and Lyanna completely off the radar online. No new posts, no subtle hints. Though in one interview, she did claim she keeps her relationship strong by not letting social media control it.
Okay.
Never post when y'all have problems.
Okay.
And be honest, always be honest.
I feel. You got the ring on right now?
No, I don't.
You don't?
But we all know how the internet works. Silence only makes the rumors feel real. What really sent this story into overdrive was how neatly it lined up with things we'd already seen before. That old clip from months ago, Lyanna leaning in and chatting with a Jaguars player, is making the rounds again. And fans are now looking at it in a whole new light. And here's what stings most for fans. If it's the same player being named in today's rumors, that means this tension has been brewing inside that locker room for months. Suddenly, the little things click, reports of practice vibes feeling off, and how players who once laughed and joked with Travis just weren't around him anymore.
Finally got to get it done. Now you're so good. Shoot him through the back. Lean over the left. The other side of this fan. Other side of this fan.
Even during press conferences, you could feel the shift at awkward, careful energy, like everyone was walking on eggshells. Nobody's coming out and saying, yeah, there's drama. The official vibe is all, everything's fine. But if you're really watching, it's impossible to miss that Travis just isn't the same. He's not laughing with the guys like before. On the sidelines, he's often off to himself, away from the usual huddles. And if the rumor about a teammate and Lyanna holds even a shred of truth, it explains a lot. Because how do you practice, travel, and share a locker room with someone you can't even look at? Once fans started thinking about it from that angle, the whole thing stopped feeling like just football. It started playing out more like one of those messy, behind-the-scenes dramas. And if the locker room was tense, home life wasn't exactly a safe zone either. This kind of thing doesn't stay at practice. It follows you into the car, the kitchen, even the stands. Fans started catching quick. Telling moments, that wedding clip where Travis leans in, but she turns her head. Blink and you miss it, but you probably saw it. Then that game shot. The two of them in the stands, faces tight, locked in one of those low, sharp conversations couples have when they're clearly not on the same page. No yelling, no scene, but the tension was all there.
An incredible last memory of taking the field with his sons, Shador and Shiloh, here at Folsom Field at home.
Put those moments next to the teammate whispers and the silent Instagram feeds, and it starts to feel like a pattern. Not hard proof, but real pressure. For him, every rep at practice comes with the weight of what are people saying now. For her, every public appearance turns into a body language breakdown. And before anyone says we're reaching, these are just the kinds of signs most of you have already noticed and chose not to say out loud. It doesn't scream it's over, but it definitely whispers something's off.
It was an accident. Do you remember we?
I love you. Oh, I ain't mean to say that.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's literally what happened. We would like, he would drive. Wait, no, I would drive. He didn't have a car. I would drive and I would like drop him off somewhere and I'd be, all right, I love you, bye. And remember? And I used to be like, oh, I didn't mean that.
That kind of slow burn tension doesn't just erupt overnight. It builds, layer by layer. And right when it seemed like they were trying to push through it, Travis's routine started shifting in ways you couldn't ignore. After all those subtle signs in his marriage, the changes began spilling beyond home life into his entire lifestyle. This was a guy who used to be everywhere, off the field, charity events, hanging with friends, surprise meet and greets for fans. But lately, nothing. No public appearances, no fun off-season clips, no casual hangouts caught on camera. It's like he went from being in the spotlight to almost vanishing. And when he did show up, the vibe was different. No Lyanna by his side. Just that same serious, distant look, like his mind was somewhere miles away. Fans began wondering if he was dodging more than just a teammate, maybe avoiding entire situations where he might be seen. The timing only made it messier. Right as he slipped into this low-profile mode, chatter about him and Lyanna hit a fever pitch online. And instead of shutting it down with a post or statement, Travis stayed silent, letting the speculation breathe. Some fans swear that's when it became obvious. His decision was already made, not just about the marriage, but about his spot on the team. Then came the next rumor, the one that made everything feel inevitable. Word from people close to the situation is that Travis and the teammate at the center of all this didn't just avoid each other. They eventually clashed. It happened after practice. Away from cameras, but close enough for others to notice the tension. Nobody's putting their name to what was said, but with the rumors flying, you don't need to be Sherlock to guess the subject. For many fans, this was the yep it's over moment. You don't share a field or a locker room when the air between you is that thick. By the time this story trickled into fan spaces, it felt less like gossip and more like a quiet confirmation. And while Travis kept his lips sealed, Lyanna's silence started to hit different. She vanished from social media, stopped showing up at games, and was missing from all the usual behind-the-scenes content. For someone who'd always maintained at least some public presence, the sudden disappearance stood out. A short break from Instagram is one thing. This felt like an intentional retreat from the spotlight. Officially, they stayed quiet. But the whispers kept spreading. And with the timing of everything, fans couldn't help but connect the dots. Soon the question shifted. Not if Travis would leave, but how he'd pull it off. For now, Travis isn't talking. Lyanna's staying low, and the Jaguars, silent as ever. Which means the only way the truth comes out is if someone finally cracks. And if that day comes, the transfer won't be the story. The reason will, and that's the part the NFL might not be ready for.